Chevy Silverado. It's got the power you want and the capability you need to do the job, so you can get to the important work. Find new moments, find new roads. Get a $500 cash allowance on all 2022 Silverado pickups with a 2.7-liter turbo engine. Plus, unlock your code to claim $500 Chevy CyberCash. Visit ChevyCyberCash.com today.
Hey, welcome back to High School Game Day here on the Missouri Sports Network, MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. Presented, as always, by the Bank of Billings, located in Billings and Marionville to better serve your banking needs. The Bank of Billings, established in 1889, the oldest bank in Christian County. Also presented by Chevy Dealers of the Ozarks. Find new moments, find new roads at Chevrolet. Also presented by Shelter Insurance, Doak Propane, and Liuna Laborers Local 663 and Central Bank of the Ozarks. We go to New Madrid County Central High School, and head coach Tyler Fullhart. And Coach, thanks so much for joining us today.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you having us.
Home of the Eagles, and the Eagles are flying high right now at 3-0. Tell us a little bit about the season up to this point.
Yeah, we've come out, played three really tough teams, played really well as a team. You know, we battled through each game and come out victorious on the end. So that's the goal every week, and hopefully we continue.
Third of the way through the season. Are you relatively healthy at this time?
Yeah, we got a couple guys banged up, and a couple of key guys banged up. One in particular banged up pretty good, but you know, we got guys stepping in, filling in the role.
Outstanding. And you've got Doniphan tonight. You're at Doniphan in an unusual schedule. You've got 4 games on the road to start the season, and then you finish with 5 at home. What do you know about Doniphan that you take on tonight?
Yeah, you know, I know that they play real hard. Those guys over there are passionate about playing. You know, the community typically gets excited for it. So, you know, it's a long drive for us. So hopefully we go over and compete well.
This is our Chevy Dealers of the Ozarks Athlete of the Week segment here on High School Game Day, presented by the Missouri State Highway Patrol. And you've got a young man sitting there next to you that had a big day or a big night. Probably had a big day too, but he had a big night for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, it's Jadis Jones, 7 catches, 207 yards, and 5 touchdowns a week ago. And Jadis, tell us a little bit about that night for you.
It was a big night. We had a lot of people that didn't think we was gonna win that game. So I think me and my teammates, we came out to a good start to get the energy going. We showed everybody that we could win it.
And you guys score 5 touchdowns. You score all 5 of them. What were some things that were working really well for you on Friday night? Were you just finding a seam? Were you finding were you breaking down man-to-man coverages, or finding a spot in the zone?
Yeah, just finding open spots in the field, like when the quarterback scouted out, and just finding what's open, making the defense move and react on the fly. That was working a lot Friday night.
Did you have any idea you were going over 200 yards? Did you know that you'd put up that many yards?
No, sir.
All right. As you break the huddle, Jadis, you break the huddle, or I don't know if you do huddle, but as you get to the line of scrimmage, let's say, what are some things that you're looking for? What are you paying particular attention to? Maybe it's where the safeties are, or linebackers, or what are you really looking at?
Well, what I look for now in these next couple games is if there's a safety over the top, because a lot of times I get bracketed where it's 3 people over the top of me. Like last Friday night, I think Dexter came out with no safety over the top of me. So I think that's how we got out to a good start. But I don't think a lot of teams are going to play us like that.
Yeah. What were some maybe personal goals or team goals you had coming into this season? Obviously, the season's just a third of the way through, but what are some things you're looking to accomplish here by the end of the year?
I think the whole team mindset is just get farther than we did last year. Just coming up short to live for life. But it's probably going to be a different team this year, but it's still the same mindset to get farther than we did. It's to win districts first, then go from there.
What do you do, on game day, which today is game day? What do you do to kind of get prepared mentally, physically? I mean, are you working on, number one, staying hydrated throughout the day? Are you looking at film? What are some things that you're doing to kind of get prepared?
That's a hard question. I mean, I really don't do nothing for real. I stay hydrated, of course. other than that, I don't really do much like throughout the game. It's just a normal day for me.
All right. Very good. Well, Judge, first off, do you wear your seatbelt?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, I'm a mandated reporter. But anyhow, on behalf of Chevrolet and Chevy Dealers of the Ozarks and the Missouri State Highway Patrol, congratulations for being named an Athlete of the Week here for Week 3.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
You bet. Coach Fullhart, as you look at your district right now, your Class 2, District 1, you get an opportunity to see any of those schools in your district?
Yeah, we played East Prairie's in our district. We played them week 2, so we got a look at them. The rest of them we really don't until it comes to district play. I wish we did, but we don't.
As your district, and I know the numbers kind of changed in Class 1, Class 2, whatever. Has your district changed compared to what it was last year?
Really, a little bit. Last year we had some more St. Louis schools in our district. This year's more of a local district with the exception being the Valley up at St. Gen, which is, relatively close, but it's more local and less St. Louis schools right now.
What time? I know you got probably a long trip tonight going to Doniphan. What time you guys getting on the bus?
Yes, sir. We're planning on leaving about 3:30.
Well, very good. Well, Coach Fullhart, I greatly appreciate you helping set this up. And again, just congratulations and best of luck as you go forward.
We appreciate you. Thank you very much.
You bet. You're watching and listening to the Missouri Sports Network at MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. And as always, the Missouri State Highway Patrol reminds us to take that 3 seconds and buckle up. It's 3 seconds that could save your life. Be safe, be smart, and be here tomorrow.
Chevy Silverado. It's got the power you want and the capability you need to do the job, so you can get to the important work. Find new moments, find new roads. Get a $500 cash allowance on all 2022 Silverado pickups with a 2.7-liter turbo engine. Plus, unlock your code to claim $500 Chevy CyberCash. Visit ChevyCyberCash.com today.
Hey there, welcome to the Missouri Sports Network, MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. And as always, brought to you by Great Southern Bank. Great Southern Bank with more than 100 locations in 6 states. Great Southern Bank, understanding what really matters. Member FDIC. Also presented by Liuna Labor's Local 663. As always, they remind us, hey, drive safely in those work zones and pay attention. Those folks want to go home as well. Well, it's time for our Chevy Dealers of the Ozarks Athlete of the Week segment here, presented by the Missouri State Highway Patrol. We go to Lutheran North High School, home of the Crusaders, and we welcome in Lutheran head football coach Kyle Wagner. Coach Wagner, hey, thanks for your time today.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate you.
Coach, you guys are off to a stellar start here, 3-0, back-to-back weekends on the road, defeating a defending state champion. Tell us a bit about this fantastic start for the Crusaders.
Man, we started off with a big game, actually a neutral site game against Hazelwood Central, and they were a team who I thought would present us problems up front. They had multiple Power 5 guys that we had to deal with, and our guys went in that game and they kind of handled them pretty well. Man, it was 42-0 at halftime, and at that point I was like, man, we might be pretty good. And so then obviously going up to Blair Oaks. It's been a while since they've lost their home, and they don't lose often, at all. And it's actually the first time, that I've seen the St. Louis team be able to go in there and win a game. So our guys went up there and they battled, and we end up, getting the game up there 38-30. And then we knew that we had to get right back to work because we had Francis Howell, and Francis Howell is a school of 1,900, students, and we have 279 students. And so our guys, they got back to work, man, and they came out and, we didn't play the cleanest game against Francis Howell, but ultimately, they did what it took to get it done. So it's been incredible, man, and we want to continue tomorrow against Westminster.
Coach, sitting there beside you, a big reason so far for this great start that you've had is Dakari Hollis. 518 total yards. This is one game. This isn't the season. 518 total yards, 370 yards passing with 3 touchdowns, and 148 yards rushing with a touchdown. Tell us a little bit about Dakari and what makes him special.
Dakari is he can make every throw on the field, and he's been able to do that since honestly when he was a freshman. And for me, it was just about building him up and making him realize how great he could be. At one point, believe it or not, he told me that he wasn't a scrambling quarterback. He said he was a pocket passer. And, so the offseason for me was just about getting him to believe in how great his legs could be. Everybody around here knows he can sling it. And so for me, it was impressive that he went into that game and rushed the ball for 148 yards. The passing I kind of expect because he's extremely gifted when it comes to throwing the football. So, you put up 500 and some yards in a game like that against that type of opponent, you're a pretty good football player.
Outstanding. Well, Dakari, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
And on behalf of Chevrolet, Chevy Dealers of the Ozarks, and the Missouri State Highway Patrol, congratulations on being named an Athlete of the Week here for Week 3, high school football. Now take us back. Let's go back to that Blair Oaks game. You're on the road, tough environment, very well-coached team. Ted LePage does an outstanding job. Tell us about your preparation and what you thought going into that game.
I just had to stay disciplined, be comfortable, and move the ball around. Make sure my team had my back too.
And then this past week, the big numbers. Number one, did you realize that you were approaching, over 500 total yards? Did you have any idea during the game?
No, at all. I just balled and played.
Well, take us through that contest. Obviously, a tremendous game, 45-42. Take us through that, and then take us really through the last few minutes of that fourth quarter and what was going through your mind and what you had to accomplish and were able to accomplish.
At the start, it was a slow start on offense and defense. And during halftime, our coach, both of them just they talked to us, and we made sure we wasn't going to lose that game. And after that, it was just on. So I just felt a different energy after that game, after halftime.
Tell us about the fourth quarter. You made a few big plays there in that fourth quarter. What stands out, and what were you trying to take advantage of? And sometimes a little luck helps too.
To make sure to show everybody we will never give up on no opponent, any opponent we go against.
Take us through that last touchdown drive and that pass. Take us through those events. What were you looking for? And pretty exciting finish.
To be honest, I don't know what I was looking for. I was just looking to win the game. To win the game, make sure I told my team, I got y'all back. If y'all give me a stop, I got y'all back.
Now, going in tonight, you've got Westminster Christian Academy. I'm sorry, that's tomorrow at 1 p.m. Tell us a little bit about what you're doing to kind of get prepared for that contest tomorrow.
We're not doubting nobody. We're just going hard work and preparation for real and go out and play Lutheran North football.
Outstanding. Now, what are you a senior? I apologize.
Junior.
You're just a junior. I'll be dang. Well, that's gotta make coach feel good.
Yeah, I mean we only have 6 seniors on this football team.
Outstanding. Well, coach, at this point of the season, you're a third of the way through the regular season. Are you guys relatively healthy right now?
We are. The crazy part of all of this is what people would consider our best player has not played yet. We have a defensive lineman, a Division I guy and offensive lineman as well, who he will not be back until later in the season in October. And so that'll give us quite a boost. He's our all-time sack leader, and he was our best offensive lineman as well. So getting him back later in this season will definitely help us out quite a bit. But we start as many freshmen as we do seniors on this football team.
Wow. Coming into this season, what did you have to replace from a team last year that went 7-5? Due to graduation, what were you looking to replace, or who did you have to replace?
Yeah, so this past season, man, we had Well, we replaced about 24 sacks on the defensive line. That was a big part. We lost Marquise Coleman, who's playing Division II football. He was a 12-sack guy for us last year. Kyron Dene was another guy who had 12 sacks for us last year. And so obviously we had to replace those guys while also trying to figure out how to replace Demetrius Jones, who was a unanimous 2-time All-State defensive lineman. So the defensive line was a big focus for us. And we were able to, do that. We have 2 huge guys on the inside that are 6'3", 360 and 6'5", 390. So those 2 kind of helped us out quite a bit. And then everything else we kind of do by committee, on the defensive line. And then on the offensive side of the ball, we had to replace 2 really good players. And Ricky Dixon, who was our do-it-everything, he did everything for us last year. He would carry the ball about 30 times a game and help us out quite a bit. And then Vance Gross in the slot for us at receiver was another one we had to replace. And this team is a lot different from our last couple of teams, just in the fact that we have, I don't know going into the game who's going to have a big night. We have so many guys that on any given night could be their night. Week 1, it was Martez Stevenson. He came out and had a huge night. Week 2, we ended up having, Trey and Dakari. And then week 3, obviously, Dakari kind of took over the game quite a bit. So that's a blessing for me. And, while we don't have that one guy that you're honing in on, we do have a team of guys that, at any given night, we have about 5 or 6 guys that can take over the game. So, and it helps having a great quarterback. And, even behind him, a lot of people don't know we have a freshman quarterback who's pretty good too. And he's been out the last couple of weeks. He's a starter for us at safety, and he'll be back here, and he'll be another weapon that will add to offense.
Well, outstanding. Well, again, Coach, thanks so much for helping set this up. Dakari, once again, on behalf of Chevrolet and Chevy dealers of the Ozarks and the Missouri State Highway Patrol, number 1, do you wear your seatbelt?
Yes, sir.
Because I am a mandated reporter.
Absolutely.
But, congratulations on being named Athlete of the Week for Week 3, and we look forward to following you and hopefully maybe get you and maybe some of your teammates back on here as we go through the season.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
You bet. Hey, you're watching and listening to the Missouri Sports Network at MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. Presented by the Bank of Billings, with 2 locations, one in Billings, one in Marionville, to better serve your banking needs. The Bank of Billings, established 1889, the oldest bank in Christian County. And as always, the Missouri State Highway Patrol remind us to take that 3 seconds and buckle up. It's 3 seconds that could save your life. Be safe, be smart, and be here tomorrow. Gentlemen, good luck tomorrow, and we will talk to you soon.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Thanks for having us.
You bet. We'll be right back after these messages from the Missouri Sports Network.
Chevy Silverado. It's got the power you want and the capability you need to do the job, so you can get to the important work. Find new moments, find new roads. Get a $500 cash allowance on all 2022 Silverado pickups with a 2.7-liter turbo engine. Plus, unlock your code to claim $500 Chevy CyberCash. Visit ChevyCyberCash.com today.
It means the world to me to have a job where I can help farmers. That's what I want to do, is be here for them.
Alan became a counselor in a rough time. He just has a feeling for what we as farmers are going through.
I learned that there's not a given in life. It takes a team, not only us, but Country Financial. And I've learned that there's people that also are going to watch out for us and that care.
Everyone thinks their mom makes the crispiest, juiciest, best chicken ever.
No way. The country's best chicken comes from Pizza Ranch.
Hot and ready on the buffet, it's always available, along with your favorite comfort foods, like mashed potatoes and gravy.
Which are never lumpy, like my mom's potatoes.
Sorry, Mom. The country's best chicken, along with mashed potatoes and gravy, are always found on the buffet at Pizza Ranch.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 290,000 participants here in Missouri who take part in high school sports or activities.
Hey, welcome back to the Missouri Sports Network, MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. And we welcome to the show now Bolivar Liberator head football coach in his first year and 3-0, Jamie LaSalle. Coach LaSalle, thanks for your time today.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks for having me on.
Coach, big matchup here coming up tonight, two undefeated teams. Tell us a little bit about your preparation this week as you travel to Lebanon to take on the Yellow Jackets.
Yeah, it's our first road game, actually. We've got kind of a crazy start to the season. We had 3 home games, but yeah, we got into film room Friday night. We were watching some Lebanon tape. We've obviously seen them before on tape, but just tried to prepare as good as we could, and we've had a good week of practice, so couldn't ask for more out of the guys, and we hopefully have a good game plan, but we know at least that what we're trying to do, the guys are getting it, so should be a great game.
Coach, 3-0 at this time, you're at Lebanon. What, at this point of the season, number one, are you relatively healthy? A third of the way through?
Yeah, we're relatively healthy. We got one of our key contributors right now. He can't play. He hasn't played since week 1. Had a big interception against West Plains, and that's Danny Kozlowski. But other than that, we're pretty healthy. So hopefully we'll have Danny back in a couple weeks.
As you look at Lebanon, and you've got a lot of years coaching, and I'm not saying you're old. I mean, we graduated together. But is there a team that you can point back to that maybe you can compare maybe to Lebanon that you've coached against or even maybe coached?
Well, I wouldn't say I'd necessarily compare them to anybody. They're just I've coached some teams or coached against some teams that are really physical and they pound the ball at you, and that's what these guys do. And I'm not necessarily thinking that I've coached against too many flex bone teams. One year, Sircoxie had a flex bone team that was pretty physical, and they're difficult to deal with when you got guys coming at you, coming off the ball hard, right in your face, and the running back's coming right behind them, and it's fast action. So, it's just a physical run football team. They've got a great defense as well, and so we've got to be ready. They don't make a lot of mistakes, so we're gonna have to play great.
Coach, tonight. At midnight we post the scoreboard. If Bolivar comes out on top of Lebanon, what are 1 or 2 stats that you're going to be able to point at that are going to say this is why we won this game?
Well, if that happens, we're going to have to play some great defense and limit their run game, their rushing yardage, and then obviously we're going to have to not have turnovers ourselves and try to cut some of the dumb penalties we've had lately and. But turnovers will be key for our offense, and then obviously our run defense.
Very good. Well, Coach, what time you heading out, and what time you going to plan on arriving over at Lebanon?
We're leaving pretty early. We're getting out of here. Well, not real early, but we're getting out of here about 3:30. Plan on getting over there about 4:30, and getting ready. That's kind of when we head to our home games. All of our games we say are on the road since we play over at SBU, but we usually get over there about 4:30, so that's what we're planning on doing in Lebanon and trying to get there and just get focused.
Outstanding. Well, Coach LaSalle, hey, I greatly appreciate you being generous with your time here, and best of luck as you go into Lebanon tonight.
All right, hey, thank you, Guy.
You bet. Jamie LaSalle, head football coach, Bolivar High School, undefeated on the season. They are 3-0. They have had 3 home games in a row. As you mentioned, West Plains, Ryle, and Parkview. They've got 1 here at Lebanon, then they come back home for 2. Before finishing up on the road. We're going to take a time out, and we'll be back after this on the Missouri Sports Network.
Chevy Silverado. It's got the power you want and the capability you need to do the job, so you can get to the important work. Find new moments, find new roads. Get a $500 cash allowance on all 2022 Silverado pickups with a 2.7-liter turbo engine. Plus, unlock your code to claim $500 Chevy CyberCash. Visit ChevyCyberCash.com today.
Hey, welcome back to the Missouri Sports Network, MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. Presented, as always, by Great Southern Bank. Great Southern Bank with more than 100 locations in 6 states. Great Southern Bank, understanding what really matters. Member FDIC. Also presented by Doak Propane. For all your propane needs in Polk County and surrounding counties, see the folks at Doak. Also presented by Bambino's. Bambino's Italian Cafe, home of the Quarterback Club luncheons every Monday at noon. Come down and join us at Bambino's Italian Cafe, East Battlefield and Lone Pine. And Chevy Dealers of the Ozarks. Chevy Dealers of the Ozarks sponsoring our Chevy Dealers of the Ozarks Athlete of the Week segment every week. And for this Chevy Dealers of the Ozarks Athlete of the Week segment, we go north to Harrisonville High School, home of the Wildcats, and head coach Brent Maxwell. Coach Maxwell, thanks so much for your time today.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for your coverage of high school athletics.
You bet. Coach, tell us a little bit about the season. 1-3 on the season right now, but got a big win here on Friday night. Tell us a little bit about how things are going for the Wildcats.
You know what, we're still trying to find our identity a little bit. We definitely challenged ourselves with our first 3 games, out of the gate. Week 1, traveling across the state to St. Louis to play Class 5 MICDS. They're always a powerhouse over there, and they were able to sneak one by us, I think, there with a 15-10 win. But we come back home the following week and we play Maryville. They're a solid Class 3 team every year. We did some things well, but we also did some things not very well to kind of shoot ourselves in the foot. The following week, we end up playing one of our rivals, Pleasant Hill, just down the road, and they've got a real solid team, and they were able to kind of get the best of us there late, again, due to some mistakes, but they're a solid team. But finally, this past week, our guys, we kind of started to put some things together, but on all 3 phases of the game. It seemed like we couldn't ever just put a full game together. One side of the ball would excel, and the other one would have a letdown. And finally, this past week, though, we were able to put 48 minutes together and come out of a win on the road and hopefully rejuvenate, some of that enthusiasm and things. And a lot of that was due to the guy sitting next to me, though.
Well, your opponents for the first 4 weeks are 13-3 combined, so that's a pretty stout group of opponents there. With one of them having to go to St. Louis, and MICDS is pretty talented, and but. Coach, you've got a young man sitting next to you, Nate Reynolds, who had a particularly very good week this past week. Tell us a little bit about him and what makes him special.
You know what, he's a great leader, first and foremost. I mean, he is an athlete, but he's just a tremendous leader on our team. He had a great year last year as a sophomore, over 14, almost 1,500 yards. People have definitely tried to slow us down by slowing him down early in the season, but he's remained patient, as tough as that is sometimes. And still been positive with our offensive line and some of our other guys. And finally, he was able to kind of break through, this past week and really demonstrate some of the abilities that we're accustomed to seeing him do. But again, it's not easy, not being shut down, I guess, if you will. When their entire game plan is designed to do just that. But that's the biggest compliment you can get, I think. But it definitely, proud of him and his resilience and just keep battling. And like I said, he had himself a pretty good night the other night. So, and I think our kids appreciated that for him as well.
That was a good
Nate, hey, thanks for joining us here on the Missouri Sports Network.
Thank you.
And on behalf of Chevy Dealers of the Ozarks and the Missouri State Highway Patrol, congratulations on being named a Chevy Dealers of the Ozarks Athlete of the Week. And tell us about your night. The stats, 23 carries for 367 yards and 5 touchdowns. Did you realize that you were putting that many yards together?
No, we started off a little slow at first. I mean, we had 2 other guys score. But then after the first touchdown, I was kind of like, yeah, it's going to happen tonight. I mean, everybody on the team had the mindset was different, really. I knew we were going to win from there if it just felt right O-line, coaches, everything just felt right. It was a good one.
When you come to the line, or not the line of scrimmage, but when you line up and getting ready for a play, what are some things you're paying particular attention to? Are you trying to find the Mike linebacker? Are you looking for a safety? What are you paying attention to?
First thing I look at is the D-line. I mean, I like looking at the holes to see where it's going to be at. And then obviously knowing our line, I know all their assignments a little bit, what they're blocking. So I'll go from D-line to linebackers, and then from there, I mean, it's one-on-one usually. You get past all of them.
And I don't need to know what the play is, but do your eyes light up sometimes when a certain play gets called? I mean, do you have a special or one or two plays that you really enjoy?
I would have to say our speed. We're at a pitch outside. I like having the open field. Use my speed a little bit, and then I have to go with our veer play. To me, it's a run pass option or a run option deal. And I mean, if I get the ball in my hands, I feel pretty confident I'm going to make it.
Again, visiting with our Chevy Dealers of the Ozarks Athlete of the Week, Nate Reynolds, Harrisonville High School football, and head coach Brent Maxwell. And Nate, what have you always played this position? I mean, going back to maybe junior high and even earlier in high school.
No, I played quarterback. I mean, I moved up to Harrisonville like my third grade year. I played QB all the way up until my freshman year, and then we did like a 3-way split deal, and then I did a little bit of wildcat formation, and then last year, sophomore year, is when I went full running back, and it worked out well. Very good transfer.
So what do you do to kind of get prepared? You've got Summit Christian Academy coming up tonight. What do you do during the week to kind of get prepared for them? Do you watch film, or is it – and obviously you're trying to physically take care of yourself with hydration and
Right.
what you put in your body, but what are you doing to get mentally and physically prepared?
First off, practices are the biggest thing. I mean, you don't have a good practice, a week of practice, you're not going to have a good game. I mean, we've had a week already, like week 2. I mean, we didn't have the greatest week of practice, and I think it ultimately showed on the football field. But I'd have to say mentally, I mean, I watch plenty of film. I constantly trying to see what the defense looks like, see what they do. So I just tell myself that I can do it. It's a confidence booster. So just I can is what I like to say.
You know, as you look at your schedule going into the season, and just by the nature of what I do, I look at schedules and I'd like to be at this game or this would be a good one. When you look at your schedule at the beginning of the year, are there games you're particularly looking forward to? Maybe if it's a rivalry game, conference game, maybe you know someone on the other team.
There's definitely plenty of games. I mean, we got my rivals, Pleasant Hill. I mean, I always want to beat them. Last year I fumbled the ball against a certain team, Odessa. I mean, I can't wait for that game just so I can prove to them that was a mistake. I mean, yeah, there's definitely a few games on the roster that I'd like to go show them what's up.
Very good. Very good. Well, Nate, again, on behalf of Chevy Dealers of the Ozarks and the Missouri State Highway Patrol, congratulations on being named an Athlete of the Week.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Coach Maxwell, you've got you're at Summit Christian Academy here tonight, 1-3 on the season. What do you know about Summit, and what are you guys going to have to do to come out on top?
You know what? We've actually had a lot of rain. We haven't had. I don't know what that stuff's called very often, but we haven't had much of it this summer. But we've had quite a bit overnight and this morning. But and being a natural grass field, you know, we just need to go take care of the football. I mean, again, football is a pretty simple game. I think we try to overcomplicate it at times. If we can block and we can tackle and we can take care of it, not turn the ball over, you know, you give yourself a chance to be successful. So they're a good team. They're sound. It's their homecoming. They're going to be excited, you know, to play us. And so we're looking forward to the opportunity to go and again try to just build upon last week. Again, it was a good win for us, but we still aren't happy with, you know, where we're at because ultimately we got a long-term goal and we got things we need to work on and improve upon before we can reach that. So this is just the next step in the process and most important game of the year because it's the one directly in front of us. So that's kind of how we're approaching that.
With the changes, you know, with regards to mission and teams moving up and down, did you stay relatively where you thought you would be, or are there new teams in your district? I know you're with Grandview, Nevada, Carl Junction, which is way south of you, but
yeah, Carl's new. Most of them are pretty close to the same. We're really kind of on the bubble right now. Last year, I think we were the very last Class 4 team as far as enrollment went. With the changes this year, we actually bumped up, a few spots. I don't know. We're probably still in the bottom third. But with that being said, yeah, our district pretty much is the same. Although, like you said, Carl Junction's pretty far south, and that's a new one for us. But the Grandviews and the Nevadas and those teams, we've kind of been in with them for several years. So it's great competition, especially that time of the year. And you better be playing your best football when it comes to that time, or your season comes to an end pretty quick.
You guys, are you guys relatively healthy at this point? I know everybody's got bumps and bruises, but you're relatively healthy.
We have actually lost a couple players, to some injuries and potentially even season ending. So we are thin at certain spots. Other spots we got a little bit of depth, but they do a great job of just persevering and practice. And again, I think it helps when arguably one of your best players is your best practice player too. He didn't just come in and coast through practice and then turn into a gamer on Friday nights. I mean, he leads by example and is a tremendous practice player and lifts extremely hard in the weight room. And so when he says, "Hey, let's get things cleaned up a little bit," they tend to pay attention. So, we always talk about you're one play away from, going from standing on the sideline to being under the lights. And we've kind of shown that, unfortunately, but fortunately, a couple times this year. So, again, I think it has helped make them, stay a little bit focused during practice, because you just never know when your time's going to be called.
You bet. Well, again, congratulations, Coach. Thanks for helping set this up and pass it on to your strength coach, who sent me the email, and we put it in front of the panel. It's like, hey, that's a no-brainer. 367 yards and 5 touchdowns on 23 carries. But again, congratulations. And before I let you go, Nate, I'm a mandated reporter. Do you wear your seatbelt?
I do.
Every time?
Every time.
All right. Well, hey, very good. And again, congratulations.
All right. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. You're watching the Missouri Sports Network at MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. And as always, the Missouri State Highway Patrol reminds us, take that 3 seconds and buckle up. It's 3 seconds that could save your life. Be safe, be smart, and be here tomorrow.
Chevy Silverado. It's got the power you want and the capability you need to do the job, so you can get to the important work. Find new moments, find new roads. Get a $500 cash allowance on all 2022 Silverado pickups with a 2.7-liter turbo engine. Plus, unlock your code to claim $500 Chevy CyberCash. Visit ChevyCyberCash.com today.
Hey, welcome back to the Missouri Sports Network, MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. And as always, presented by Lyona, Laborers Local 663, Chevy Dealers of the Ozarks, Doak Propane, Great Southern Bank with more than 100 locations in 6 states. Great Southern Bank, understanding what really matters. Member FDIC. Also presented by Shelter Insurance and the Bank of Billings. Bank of Billings established in 1889, the oldest bank in Christian County. We go north to Bramer High School. And Bramer High School, home of the Bobcats, just south of Chillicothe, I believe. Of course, I had to have a little tutoring on that from Jordan, because I wasn't really sure where Bramer was. But we welcome in our Chevy Dealers of the Ozarks Athlete of the Week here from the Bramer Bobcats and their head football coach, Clayton Brown. Coach Brown, hey, thanks for your time today.
Absolutely. Yeah, thanks for having us on.
Coach, 4-0 on the season, putting up a lot of points. Talk about the start to the season for the Bobcats.
Yeah, I would say things have gone kind of according to plan to this point. I felt like we put a pretty solid plan together in the offseason, and the kids have done a great job executing it to this point. It makes it a lot easier. We've got a lot of speed at receiver, and then when you've got a guy like Jordan that can put it on the money pretty much anywhere, he's got great touch on the long throws, and he could put it where it needs to be, and where most of the time only the receiver can catch it. So we've scored a ton of points so far. He's been efficient. I think he's second in the state currently in passing yards with like 1,500, but passing touchdowns, he's got 31 already, and total touchdowns, he's actually almost doubled the lead in the state. He's got 46, and the next guy's got 27. So the offense is pretty open. We're most of the time it's him back there in the backfield by himself. We motion a lot of guys around, spread it out, try to isolate our athletes, and he does a great job getting the ball to him, distributing it and taking what the defense gives him.
Kind of handicap your conference if you're a member of a conference, and then also talk a little bit about your district.
Yeah, I mean, we're in the CRC, so they've mixed it up a little bit. I know we've got a couple different divisions now, but we've got, a conference opponent this week in Norburn Hardin Central, and then Schuyler County next week. We've got a tough conference traditionally. A lot of teams usually ranked higher in the higher end of the state, but districts, I believe, I'd have to double check. Honestly, I'm a week-to-week guy. I know we've got Norburn Hardin Central this week. I think Oric is one of our district opponents, maybe a couple others. I'm not sure off the top of my head at the moment, though.
Yeah, it's Southwest Livingston County, Hardin Central, Northland Christian, Oric, and yourself.
That sounds right.
Yeah. So you almost got it right on the nose. But talk a little bit about what your team is doing really well right now, and if you know about last year, kind of compare it. What did you lose to the graduation? Who are some of the folks kind of filling in those spots and filling in for those folks that moved on?
Yeah, so we lost Ben Jordan, starting senior center and middle linebacker for us. We lost Ethan Weber. He was a linebacker, running back for us, did a lot of things on special teams. I feel like we've done a really good job replacing them this year. Aiden Petrie, sophomore, stepping in at center for us. He's even played a little bit of linebacker for us where Ben used to play. Ethan, we've had guys like Bowden Bills step up this year at linebacker. He's playing a lot more linebacker now. He started the season playing a little more D end. Now he's playing some linebacker. Griffin Houston's back as a senior. He was ranked one of the top receivers in the state. I think we have, several of our guys I think are in the top end of the state. It's hard to get the ball to everybody, if that makes sense. But I don't know if I covered everything you were wanting there, but
no, that's fine. No, that's perfect. Now, Jordan, you've been sending stats out and the last couple of weeks, and I thought the stat I got a couple of weeks ago was for the entire season, but that was a single game, and that's why I sent you back the email, and I said, okay, I've turned that over to the panel on that takes care of the Chevy Dealers of the Ozarks, Chevrolet, Athlete of the Week, and I thought, hey, these are some crazy. This is Nintendo numbers, so it's 46 touchdowns. That's 11 touchdowns a game. That he, more than 11 touchdowns a game. He's putting up about 600 total yards a game. Kind of talk about Jordan and what makes him so special.
I would say his commitment to being special. He's a talented kid, great athlete, obviously, but he showed up as a freshman. That was my first year in the summer. My first workout with the team was his first workout as a high schooler. So I've kind of been there every step of the way, and I've seen him grow. He's a kid that doesn't, he doesn't cut. He didn't take shortcuts. He's always there. He's always pushing the other guys to get better and to show up to the weight room or practice or whatever it is. But he takes it really seriously. He's a very mature kid for as young as he is. But he works at it. There's a lot of things that people don't see that he does, and they don't realize how much time he puts into it. A lot of people might think he just goes out there on Fridays and that's just how it works. But he's gotten a lot better, as talented as he was coming in as a freshman, and as special of a year as he had that year. We've been able to organize things, and we've got more weapons now at receiver, and we're able to take advantage of people. Because he works hard at it. He knows where to go with the ball. But then on top of that, he lifts. He's gotten a lot quicker feet than when he showed up as a freshman. He's just improved in every way that he can. He's done everything that he could to improve.
Again, visiting with our Chevy Dealers of the Ozarks Athlete of the Week, along with head football coach Bramer, along with Bramer head football coach Clayton Brown, our Athlete of the Week, Jordan Haley. Jordan, thanks for your time today.
Thank you for having me.
And first off, on behalf of Chevrolet and Chevy Dealers of the Ozarks and the Missouri State Highway Patrol, congratulations on being named an Athlete of the Week. And
thank you.
A lot of fun. Are you having a lot of fun this year?
Yeah, lots of fun.
Tell us a little bit about your maturing. Did you start as a freshman? maybe that point where you kind of felt like you turned the corner, and then we'll talk a little bit about this year. But where did you kind of really start to kind of pick it up?
About week 3, my freshman year, we started throwing the ball around. Week 1 and 2, we kind of just ran double tight and learned that wasn't for us pretty quickly.
What there are play calls when they come in that kind of your eyes get big. Hey, I like this play. Or do you have favorite plays?
All of them work with our receivers.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about as you come to the line of scrimmage. What are some things that you're looking for? Maybe you're trying to find the linebacker or the safety. What are you paying particular attention to pre-snap, so to speak?
I like looking for the mismatch. A lot of our guys, most of the time, all 4 of our guys have a mismatch. Nobody could run with us. Our receivers can create space. They're always open. You can ask them that. They'll tell you that too.
Tell us just a little bit about, obviously you have some success running the football as well. You've got, several touchdowns on the ground as well. What are you looking for there? When do you decide maybe to take off?
Just when the pocket breaks down. Line does a good job. I take a lot of time back there, sometimes 5-6 seconds before I get the rid of the ball. Line might not like that sometimes, but they do a good job.
Coming into this season, and I do this just by the nature of what I do. I look at schedules and I look at, games that, I want to be at or want to see or want to pay attention to. When your schedule comes out going into the season, are there particular games that you look forward to? Maybe it's a rivalry game. Maybe you know someone on the other team.
Yeah. Look forward to the teams that we lost to last year, of course. Try to beat them. We lost to Oreck last year, 96-80. We went out last week and beat them 68-6, I think. So that was a big turnaround.
What are some goals, personal goals, team goals that you had coming into this season?
Team goals is obviously win districts, get better, have a better record than last year. Personal goals, win football games. That's it.
What do you do and Coach alluded to your preparation. What do you do to kind of get prepared? You guys taking on Norborne Hardin Central tonight. What have you done this week kind of mentally and then physically kind of get prepared for this contest?
Same thing I do every week pretty much. Go to practice, stay focused, go home, watch film, get ready for the run game they're going to play.
Yeah. So do you have a defensive responsibility too?
Yeah, I play monster back. It's kind of like safety for 8-man.
Very nice. Now you're just a junior.
Yes, sir.
Kind of what are you doing kind of in the off season to kind of get prepared for football season?
I play every sport school offers. So I play baseball and basketball, but during the summer I've lifted almost every day this summer. So that's a big part of it.
Outstanding. Well, Jordan, once again, on behalf of Chevy Dealers of the Ozarks and the Missouri State Highway Patrol, congratulations.
Thank you. Couldn't do it without my coaches and teammates.
You bet. Coach Brown, you've got you got back-to-back home games after being on the road the last 3 weeks. Well, what do you know about Hardin Central, and what are you going to have to do tonight to come out on top?
Big physical team. They like to run the ball. Usually we've had barn burners with them over the years. They're a really, really well coached team, physical, and they're going to show up and play. They're going to play tough. We got to execute, obviously, hit our spots, and avoid any mistakes that we can, if at all possible. I tell our guys, do your job, and the rest of it will take care of itself.
Very good. Well, Coach, I really appreciate you helping set this up. And again, Jordan, congratulations. And we'll look forward to seeing the scores tonight as they come in. And Coach, may try and get a big win tonight. We'll try and get you on the scoreboard show one night.
That sounds great. Yeah, I really appreciate you all having us on.
Yep. Thank you for having us.
You bet. And before I go, Jordan, I've got to ask you, do you wear your seatbelt?
Yes, sir.
All the time?
Yes, sir.
All right. You're listening to the Missouri Sports Network here on the MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. And as always, the Missouri State Highway Patrol reminds us to take that 3 seconds and buckle up. It's 3 seconds that could save your life. Be safe, be smart, and be here tomorrow.